Hello everybody, thank you so much for stopping by the channel and checking out my early access gameplay and review of Neon Apex Beyond the Limit. I was very kindly gifted a key for this by the awesome people over at Numbskull Games on behalf of developers Repixelate, and I gotta say this is one that I was super excited by as a big fan of the F-Zero games and Wipeout games, those crazy breakneck speed racing games. We've not had nearly enough of them in recent years, probably in the last 10-15 years, so I was really looking forward to getting to grips with this one and seeing if it sort of encapsulated the spirit of those games. First thing that struck me was obviously the visual style. Bright, bold, colourful, bit of a fever dream at times, to be honest. I love the artistic vision. Very in your face, very cool, very stylish. We're off to a great start with that, but what I will say is, because you know me, I'm very honest, I will call a spade a spade. Sometimes it can be a little bit distracting. Sometimes it can be a little bit too in your face. Sort of a hard one to balance, because the artistic style is very cool and they've got something a bit, it's a bit of a hook that they've got to pull you in, but obviously the more and more you see of that, the more and more the effect sort of starts to wear off a little bit. The game itself though runs extremely well, very smooth, slick, vehicles control well, they corner and drift well, which is impressive as you're going at such a blistering pace, but the game and the engine managed to keep up with it all really well. As I said at the start, the game reminds me heavily of and plays very similarly to Wipeout and F-Zero games, which I loved growing up. We've had a real lack of those breakneck speed races in recent times. Going back to the visuals of the game, at times it's a little bit hard to tell what's going on, like what's in the foreground, what's in the background. There's a real lack of monuments and landmarks within the races, within the tracks, so that you can sort of tell where you are. They all sort of blend into one a little bit. They're all a bit paint by numbers. As great as that art style is, when everything starts to look the same, it kind of makes it a bit hard for you to figure out whereabouts you are on the track. Because of how fast the game is, you don't really get much time to learn what's around. So a few landmarks, monuments, places of interest, like things in the background, buildings, towers, whatever, would have been nice just to give you a little bit of familiarity as you're going around on multiple laps. Yeah, it does lead to confusion every now and then. It leads to quite a lot of collisions as well, because of that whole like depth of field, depth of perception kind of thing. It just makes it a little bit too chaotic at times. That might just be me, because I'm saying that I absolutely love that style of game and that style of racer and that style of crazy speed and chaos, but it does get a little bit overwhelming at times. Upgrades for your vehicles come in the way of a card system, which I will be honest again, feels a little bit out of place, a little bit unnecessary, to be honest. It feels a little bit shoehorned in, like quite a lot of games have done in recent years, you know. That the card format and opening packs of cards has become such a popular thing because it's such an easy thing to get addicted to. I think a lot of games have gone down that path. Doesn't really fit with this type of game though. Doesn't really, you know, it wouldn't have been my first thought of how to do an upgrade system and, you know, customization options through packs of cards. Doesn't just feels very thrown in at the last minute, like they were just looking for an extra angle to do something a little bit different in a racing game. It doesn't harm the game in particular. It's, you know, it's not a bad addition. It just doesn't feel necessary. Another thing, I'm always excited to see motorbikes in video games. I drive bikes in real life. There simply aren't enough games outside of like the Ride series which let you play on them, which let you drive them. Sadly, my excitement was a little bit short-lived, as driving the bikes feels exactly the same as driving the cars. They control exactly the same, don't feel as dangerous as driving bikes at high speed should feel. They just feel sort of glued to the tracks. This could very well be a me thing again, as I enjoy bike racing so much that I've noticed those little issues, but again, it just feels a little bit flat and a little bit shoehorned in. Like, bikes do not drive the same as cars. That's the same in real life and in games, and it just feels like you're still driving a car but with a bike skin over it, if that makes sense. Early on, the tracks are a little bit easy, as you'd expect, but as time goes on, the difficulty does increase. Just not much. I found myself having to increase the AI difficulty quite early on to have any sort of real challenge. Tracks also feel a little bit too short, which is probably largely down to how fast you're driving around them, but it's a hard one to balance, isn't it? Because the only way to make the races last longer in a fast game is to have more laps, but then you risk getting repetitive if you're doing the same lap 5 times at that sort of speed. I must say, I've definitely enjoyed my short time with Neon Apex so far. The game does have a fair few areas that could do with a little bit of tinkering and improvements. None of the issues are massive issues. They don't lower the quality and the enjoyment of the game. But things like the AI not posing much of a threat, the soundtrack's decent enough but could do with a bit more variety and fleshing out a bit. Character models a little bit off-putting and distracting. The boost and nitrous isn't the best, as there's no way to charge it back up during the race like most of these games let you. It's just like one and done. Once you've used up your nitrous, that's it, you're finished with it. Hitting cars doesn't seem to do much, as they just stay on the track anyway. These are all just small niggles that stop the game from being truly great, which is a shame because I have really enjoyed the actual playing of the game. One big positive is how much content there is across multiple modes. You've got story, career, championship, arcade, time trials, versus. There's a lot on offer, and with most races only lasting a few minutes maximum, doesn't feel too grindy to get through those modes, which is really nice. Overall, despite those small niggles, like I say, I really enjoyed Neon Apex. I will absolutely keep playing it. I look forward to seeing how Repixelate support the game going forward. There's the bones of a really great racing game here. It just needs a little bit of tinkering, a little bit of an update here and there to iron out those few issues. But overall, I'd give this a solid 7 out of 10. It's definitely one that I'm going to keep playing and keep an eye on and see what more they can introduce to the game in future updates. Yeah, it's got potential. Thank you ever so much for checking out this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're into racing games, I really strongly suggest giving this one a go. I will drop links down below for where you can pick it up. It releases today, actually, on the 16th of May on consoles, available on Steam as well. I'll put the link down there below so you can pop that into your wish list and all that kind of stuff as well. Once again, I've got to say a big thank you to Numbskull Games and Repixelate. They've made a very cool game, very fun game here. I really appreciate them giving me early access to it as well. Thank you ever so much to you, the viewer or listener or whatever it is that you're doing to take this in. I really appreciate you being here. If you could drop me a like, drop me a comment, let me know your thoughts and feelings on the game, or if you've played it yourself, let me know what that experience was like for you. And obviously, if you can hit the subscribe button, that means the world to me. Thank you ever so much. I will look forward to catching you again in the very near future for some more reviews and gameplay.